It's been a while. Hello, world. I guess it's time for an update. Today's date is August 8th, I believe, 2025. It's been quite a while since I put one of these up. Last I remember, we had gotten some financing, if you will, and we were excited for real estate development and working with Eric. So I took the Maserati, sent it to Dallas, sent it to Houston, got on a plane, got there before the car, met with the tow truck guy, got the car, got it fixed all the way. That took about $25,000 to do. And then I immediately went to Dallas. I actually ended up getting it fixed in Dallas because that's where Eric lived. And I was just completely determined on finding this man and putting this money that we got to use. So I get here and I don't even know where to start looking. I'm searching and searching and searching. And in the process of it, after all the phone calls and emails and tracking down going to his website, and almost like a crazy guy, going to his website and finding some of his builds that he did and going to that address and kind of just sitting out there hoping we run across some contractors or something that might have his number. I got in contact with Sophia calls me. I think we mentioned her back in the day. We gave Eric $15K, and I was in a hotel in Dallas, and he was doing this epic proposal to his wife out in Dubai. So I kind of came in at a bad time because it was like a surprise thing, and he didn't. Nobody kind of knew that he was popping the question. Eric Epic 23, go check him out. I'm pretty sure it's probably still on his Instagram. That was pretty epic. But anyways, during that time, I didn't get to talk to anybody and figure things out. And I was just like, hey, I have this money and I want to get in on this and let's go, right? So what I found out was, even though we had money, credit was still an issue, even though I thought from what I watched through Eric's videos that the land was the collateral and your credit didn't matter at all. Well, I did get like a maybe 2 or 3 minute conversation with him while he was in Dubai. And he basically said, we got to fix credit. 3 to 6 months. I'm thinking, damn, man, what am I going to do for 3 to 6 months? So I couldn't stay in a hotel. I found an apartment locator who found me an apartment, who told me no, basically, because I wanted to put it in a business name, not in mine, so I could maybe write some shit off. So I went across the street, found another apartment complex, showed them my account, and was like, listen, I need a place. And they were like, well, okay, basically. That's the short version. So I get into the apartment, and which for me is not good. I don't do well in small spaces, and it's a 1-bedroom place. But hey, I'm not paying hotels anymore. Figuring a hotel, right? So I get in here, I have nothing, and I realize, okay, I need to kind of furnish this place enough for me to be somewhat comfortable. So buy a cheap couch, TV, bed, get normal pots and pans, normal things that you would need for a place. And then here's where my huge mistake comes in. Now I'm thinking 3 to 6 months is a long time. What the heck am I gonna do? It was better to pay an apartment, $1,500, $1,700 or whatever a month than pay a hotel potentially $3,000 a month. So I had to get the place. I had to pay back a bunch of people that I owed money to, who helped me get along with when I was in my downfall. So I was eating through some money pretty quick. I got the place, And my downfall-ish. I met someone. I met a woman. It always starts like that, doesn't it? And I allowed this person to come into my life. And let's just say for 5 months, it was the most terrible experience I've ever had. I gave way too much of me way too soon. More from a emotional perspective, but I wanted to have children. I'd like to have a family one day. I'm almost 40, you know what I'm saying? And let's just say it did not work out. And I was very invested in several ways. That is recently over. Days, officially over days ago, but pretty much over a couple months ago. And, it kind of buried me because I tried to help this person a lot. Not so much financially, but it still ended up eating me a little financially, especially because I was so focused on them. Laser focus is what we were supposed to be, and I ended up focusing on someone else instead of the what I should have been focused on. But the real estate thing just seemed like it was not happening. I got down to I ain't gonna say how much, but I got down and I was like, okay, well, this ain't happening right now. I need to try something else if I could just sit idle. So I paid another $8,000 to another company called the Investor's Edge that does remodeling, flipping type stuff, which they seem like they had a pretty decent model you can get, and which I could still do right now, but finding one is it's not easy. But they'll pay 100% on a remodel of certain type of homes, but you got to find someone who is willing to sell their home at a really discounted price. Maybe they can't afford it, about to get foreclosed on, something like that. And I tried that for a brief second. I'm not going to say I put my all into it like I maybe could have or should have, because I was sidetracked by this individual. And I'm not going to blame myself, because nobody put a gun to my head and made me do that. I did that on my own volition. So I lost focus. But anyways, I had that and I tried that, and I was making all these phone calls, waiting for the real estate thing to pop off, and then started getting lower in cash. Time is going by, and I'm like, damn it, man, I got to do something. So when it was getting too low and I started to say, okay, I'm panicking, I ended up getting ready to create a THC cannabis company. And I got all the all the distributors ready. I created the company. I had everything ready to go, and then boom, some things happened out here in Texas with legislature, and it kind of screwed up the market a little bit because there was too much uncertainty. So I'm like, dang, what am I gonna do? So I shoot to Pensacola, Florida, because ChatGPT helped me figure out that was the best place where legalities were still good. And so I went to Pensacola, Florida. There's a lot in between this that I'm leaving out, but I went to Pensacola, Florida, and tried to find retail space out there. I couldn't really get it done. This was during 4th of July week. So I came back to Texas, tried to find retail space here. Nobody wants that kind of company in their places. Even though I had everything ready to go, I just couldn't make it work. And then boom, all of a sudden, I get a contact from one of Eric's people. Says, hey, we found some land for you at the price. Oh, hold on, before I even did that, I was going on to the auction, the Dallas auction, trying to buy repossessed, foreclosed auction sites to do once every, I believe, Thursday, first Thursday of every month. So I put about $50,000 or so into that and realized I probably needed around $70,000 to close things. I actually did win one property, but I gave it back, if you will. I said I didn't want it because even though I won it, it wasn't going to work out for a build. So I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do with this land? I don't need this, and I'm going to end up spending like $50,000 on it. So I ended up not doing it. That's in there. So fast forward, I get a phone call, and they found me some land, $40,000, which I bought. I just went through the title process, and you know, I've got a little bit of footage of that, which maybe I'll try to figure out how to map that into this video. Sign some closing documents, attain the land. And then I'm like, well, what am I going to do about the hard money loan? Because like the whole reason I've been sitting for 3 to 6 months is because my credit ain't good enough. Eric's people are helping me repair it, but it's nowhere near repaired any kind of toward. I'm like maybe 550, if that, right? So I'm like, okay. I mean, yeah, I got this land, but what the heck am I going to do with it? Well, Eric and his people got it done. They got somewhere to say, okay, we'll give them a chance. So I got the construction loan. We're going to build a 14. So I have the land and we have the construction loan funded. We were going to build a 1,440 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in Greenville, Texas. I submitted all the paperwork and paid the architect. The architect came back with plans, but they were over the 1,440. It's 1,668 or something square footage, which we were going to build at $100 a square foot. So now it's an issue, you know, because that 150 doesn't have enough contingency to cover the rest of this for it to be 1,600 plus square foot. But everything's in the making. We are getting ready to build. But there was one issue that I didn't quite understand. It was to my understanding that you have this construction loan and it's going to pay for the build. Well, yes and no. It's a reimbursement, not an advancement. What that means is if foundation, let's say, is $10,000, I got to pay $10,000, then submit that paperwork to the construction loan I have, and they will give me back my $10,000. Well, I kind of didn't have that. I kind of got under that to where I can't, you know, carry the construction costs up front to get my money back. I didn't know there was a difference between advance and reimbursement. So big hiccup right there. And now that's where we're at, trying to figure out how to make this thing move before the architect's done with his final draft. We did get the first drafts, but it comes in a couple processes that needs to go through the engineer. But if we can get that done, we'll be breaking ground, get the excavation done, get the plumbing, electrical, and foundation poured, all that stuff, and then, you know, go up and start going vertical. So we are in the game now. We are in this real estate development game, but we are tight, and we got to make this first one work. Oh, by the way, so the building this house should net be somewhere. The comps came in at 288 to 320. Expected to sell around 305, maybe even down to 3. It's not going to cost 150 now. It's going to cost more than that, but there's still some profit built in. I think the first one for me is going to be more about learning than it is trying to make a boatload of money. But as long as I have enough to buy another lot or two and sit, then that's great. Also, it's only a 3 to 4 month build, so that's a good thing too. How long will it sit on market? I don't know. I did go look at some other houses around the area that were being newly built, and I'll try to link in some video on that. I don't know how to edit stuff, so I'm going to learn that, but we're in this real estate development. Eric did come through on what he said he would do. Thank you to his newly found wife as well, because she really helped put this thing together. And this is the first build. I'll start getting footage of what we got going on, blueprints and schematics, and you know, when we start breaking ground, I'll go out to the land and make some video out there here pretty soon. It's like 30 minutes away from where I am now, or where I live now. And that's pretty much it, man. Really excited, honestly, but also very nervous because I don't have enough to carry this on. I even tried to go to banks and smaller banks and find investors or somebody that could just carry maybe 30 grand. That'd be more than enough. But try to bring in my family, but nobody is of help ever. I've watched when we get rich, everybody's gonna want to be, oh hey, oh no. You remember when? I hate to be that way, but But yeah, I also have two, I don't want to call it aces up my sleeve, but two potentials that can make this thing go ahead and be what it should be and get this thing done. So welcome back to the channel. If you have been watching, or I know it's been a while, but as this process is starting, you'll start seeing more about this to show you road to a millionaire, man, from literally nothing, sleeping in the car, not eating, really jacked up, to hopefully reaching the first million and beyond. And we'll start with this first one. So I'll see you in the next video.